Picture this: Mercedes-Benz has built many cars over the decades, but only a few truly redefined what luxury, performance, and innovation meant for their time. Imagine a limousine so advanced that world leaders considered it the only acceptable way to travel. Then, a compact sports sedan engineered with racing DNA, proving that performance could live in an everyday car. And finally, an SUV that broke the mold, combining family practicality with the heart of an AMG powerhouse. In today's video, we explore the legendary Mercedes 600 Grosser, the 190e Evolution 2, and the ML55 AMG. Three icons that didn't just follow automotive trends, they created them. By the end, you'll understand why these models remain timeless benchmarks in the history of Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz 600 Grosser W100 1963 to 1981 wasn't just a car, it was a rolling palace, a machine built to represent absolute power, wealth, and prestige. When it debuted in 1963, Mercedes-Benz had only one goal: to show the world what ultimate luxury and engineering perfection truly looked like. And they succeeded. The design was bold, commanding, and dignified. With its massive body, sharp edges, and tasteful chrome details, the 600 stood out wherever it went. On the road, it didn't just appear, it dominated. This was an era when the look of a car reflected the influence of its owner, and the Grosser was the undisputed king. Under the hood sat a colossal 6.3-liter 5.8 engine, a powerhouse for its time. Despite its size and weight, the Grosser could glide effortlessly at highway speeds while maintaining a cabin so silent and smooth that passengers felt completely disconnected from the outside world. Its advanced air suspension made the ride unbelievably comfortable. It didn't just move, it floated. But what truly set the 600 apart were its features. This wasn't just luxury, it was futuristic. The Grosser came with a complex hydraulic system that controlled almost everything: the windows, seats, trunk, even the doors. Features we take for granted in modern luxury cars: automated comfort, effortless controls, and customizable seating, were pioneered right here, decades earlier. The Mercedes 600 quickly became a symbol of influence. It wasn't only for wealthy businessmen or celebrities. It was the car of kings, dictators, and global leaders. From Brezhnev in the Soviet Union, to African leaders like Idi Amin, to pop icons like Elvis Presley and John Lennon, owning a Grosser meant you were declaring to the world, "I am at the very top." And then there was the Pullman version. This long wheelbase model took exclusivity to another level. It was chauffeur-driven, with a cabin more like a private lounge than a car interior. Reclining leather seats, partition screens, minibars, custom fittings. Every detail was handcrafted for those who demanded nothing less than absolute indulgence. Production was limited, with only a few thousand examples built over nearly 2 decades. This rarity, combined with its legendary status, has made the 600 one of the most desirable collector's cars today. When one appears at auction, it often reaches prices in the millions. What makes the 600 so fascinating is how far ahead of its time it was. In 1963, no other car in the world offered this combination of advanced technology, power, and comfort. It wasn't just a car, it was Mercedes-Benz setting the benchmark for what luxury automobiles could become. Even today, the Grosser has an aura that no modern car can replicate. Its presence alone speaks of authority and grandeur. That's why it earned the nickname Der Grosser Mercedes, the Grand Mercedes. More than 6 decades later, it remains one of the most iconic symbols of automotive history, a timeless legend that combined luxury and power like no other. The Mercedes-Benz 190e 2.5 to 16 Evolution 2, introduced in 1990, is one of the most legendary performance sedans ever built. A true motorsport-bred icon that took the compact W201 platform and transformed it into a race-ready machine. When it first appeared at the Geneva Motor Show, the Evo 2 turned heads instantly. Its aggressive bodywork was unlike anything Mercedes had produced before. The huge rear wing, flared wheel arches, deeper front bumper, and side skirts weren't just for show. Every piece was developed for aerodynamic efficiency, giving the Evo 2 incredible stability at high speeds. It looked like a touring car for the road, and that's exactly what it was. Under the hood, it carried a 2.5-liter, 16-valve, four-cylinder engine, developed in collaboration with Cosworth. On paper, 235 horsepower might not sound like much today, but for the early 1990s in a compact sedan, it was groundbreaking. Paired with a slick-shifting 5-speed manual gearbox, the Evo 2 delivered razor-sharp performance, with revs climbing to over 7,000 RPM, a very un-Mercedes-like character at the time. But the Evo 2 wasn't just about straight-line speed, it was built for the racetrack. Mercedes designed it to compete in the German DTM, Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft series, and it quickly became a dominant force. With advanced suspension tuning, wider track, and lightweight construction, it handled like no other Mercedes sedan before it. On the track, it battled fiercely with the BMW M3 E30, creating one of the most iconic rivalries in touring car history. Inside, the Evo 2 blended performance with Mercedes luxury. The cabin was trimmed with sporty touches, like bolstered Recaro seats, a sports steering wheel, and subtle Evo badging. But it still carried the solid build quality and comfort that defined Mercedes at the time. It was both a race car and a luxury sedan in one package. What makes the Evo 2 so special today is its rarity. Only 502 examples were ever built, just enough to meet homologation requirements for racing. Each one was hand-assembled, making it one of the most collectible Mercedes models of all time. Over the years, the 190E Evo 2 has achieved cult status among enthusiasts. Its radical looks, motorsport pedigree, and limited production make it one of the most desirable cars from Mercedes' performance history. Prices at auctions have skyrocketed, with well-preserved examples now selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Evo 2 represents a bold chapter in Mercedes-Benz history, a moment when the brand stepped out of its traditional luxury comfort zone and went head-to-head with the best in motorsport. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement that Mercedes could build a compact sedan capable of winning races and thrilling drivers on the road. Even today, more than 3 decades later, the 190E 2.5-16 Evolution 2 stands as one of the most iconic and beloved performance sedans ever built. A true legend that will forever carry the spirit of DTM glory and Mercedes-Benz engineering excellence. The Mercedes-Benz ML55 AMG W163, produced from 1999 to 2003, was a groundbreaking vehicle in more ways than one. It wasn't just Mercedes' first attempt at a performance SUV, it was also one of the earliest high-performance SUVs ever to hit the global market. At a time when SUVs were mostly associated with rugged off-road ability or family practicality, the ML55 AMG proved that a large, heavy 4x4 could also deliver blistering speed and thrilling performance. When it debuted, the ML55 AMG stood out immediately. Compared to the standard ML class, it featured an aggressive body kit with flared arches, deeper bumpers, side skirts, and unique 18-inch AMG wheels wrapped in wide performance tires. The front end carried a more purposeful stance, while quad exhaust tips at the rear gave away its AMG pedigree. It wasn't just a family SUV anymore. It was a statement of power and exclusivity. At its heart was a hand-built 5.4-liter, naturally aspirated V8 engine, producing 342 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque. For the late 1990s, those numbers were astonishing for an SUV, making the ML55 AMG one of the fastest utility vehicles of its time. It could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 6 seconds. Shocking performance considering its size and weight. The engine note was equally thrilling, with the signature AMG V8 roar that made every drive exciting. Power was sent through a 5-speed automatic transmission to Mercedes' permanent 4 MAT IC all-wheel drive system, ensuring strong grip in all conditions. While the ML55 AMG retained off-road capabilities, its suspension was tuned for performance, making it feel far more agile and responsive than any SUV had a right to be in that era. It wasn't a sports car, but it blurred the lines between SUV practicality and sports sedan performance in a way few had seen before. Inside, the ML55 AMG was loaded with luxury and exclusivity. It came with sports seats, leather upholstery, wood trim, and AMG-specific touches like a sports steering wheel, unique dials, and badging. Despite its performance focus, it remained practical, with room for 5 passengers and a spacious cargo area. Proof that Mercedes was targeting customers who wanted both speed and utility in one package. One of the reasons the ML55 AMG is so iconic is because it pioneered a segment that would eventually explode in popularity. Today, nearly every luxury brand offers high-performance SUVs: Porsche with the Cayenne Turbo, BMW with the X5M, Audi with the RSQ8. But in 1999, Mercedes and AMG were among the first to prove the concept could work. In many ways, the ML55 AMG laid the foundation for the performance SUV market as we know it today. Collectors and enthusiasts also appreciate the ML55 AMG for its rarity. Unlike modern AMG SUVs, which are produced in high volumes, the ML55 was built in relatively small numbers. Its hand-built engine, raw character, and early place in AMG history make it a highly desirable model for those who value performance icons. Looking back, the ML55 AMG might not have had the polish of later AMG SUVs, but it had something more important: authenticity. It was bold, unapologetic, and ahead of its time. It proved that SUVs didn't have to be slow or boring. They could be thrilling, powerful, and luxurious, all in one package. Even today, more than 20 years later, the ML55 AMG remains a cult classic. It's remembered not just as a fast SUV, but as a pioneer that redefined what an SUV could be, setting the stage for an entire generation of high-performance luxury trucks.